Ekest Pleasant's coffee shop and bar, day. Bailey and Doc lounge at a table al fresco, savoring coffee and munching on lunch. Doc, you have an incredible voice. Bailey bites into her sandwich. Doc commented, you don't take compliments well.
Bailey. Next you'll ask me to join you on the road as one of your backup singers.
Doc, we should jam together when you get off work. Bailey can't hide her smile. Vintage record players and a sparse collection of vinyl records are neatly arranged on shelves, showcasing Doc's appreciation for the rich history of music, however minimalistic. Doc, I'm sure you heard. I'm getting into AANDR and setting up shop here in Philadelphia.
Bailey looks around. Bailey, nice collection. How were you able to carry your whole world with you on the road?
Doc, he shrugs. I'd have more if I wasn't a vagrant. Gotta travel light. Doc grabs his guitar and strums, thinking. He doesn't say a word, but his music fills the vision. Like a magical language, Bailey interprets visually.
Bailey. You want an open space to move around, but intimate moments through the space where you could feel nested and safe. But you want your history visible. Your past is inspirational to you.
Doc, what are you, psychic?
Bailey. Hypersensitive to vibes, comes in handy when designing but crippling when I perform. I think part of the reason I work in AI is because I'm afraid of being replaced by it. If you can't beat 'em, join 'em. Your algorithm could tell you everything I'm telling you.
Doc, it's cooler when you do it. Doc watches as Bailey picks up a picture of young Doc, young Jackson, and Grandpop Ezekiel. Doc zones out. Cut 2. Young Doc and young Jackson gleefully play with Grandpop Ezekiel. Ezekiel looks young and healthy as he plays with the boys. Then he stops and coughs. Young Doc sees his grandpop cough up blood and spit. Young Doc squints, confused. Ezekiel, come on inside. The boys follow him inside a small Philadelphia home close to an energy plant. Ezekiel and the boys enter. Jackson runs in, unbothered. He claims the couch. Doc watches as Ezekiel takes some medication, drinks water. Ezekiel hides his pain. Then, Ezekiel to Doc. A star called wormwood turns a third of the waters bitter and toxic, killing many people. Revelation 8:11. Ezekiel sets his glass of water down on a shelf next to an old compass. Doc continues to play. Doc, why you want to play at Pleasance? You got a fancy job with that company. What is it, Wormwood? What else you want? Fame?
Bailey Wormworld. Wouldn't wish fame on my worst enemy. If I could be like Sia hiding behind a black and white wig, I would.
Are you a songwriter?
I don't know what I am now.
What you mean?
I'm an AI's assistant.
Doc plays a tune.
Anyway, you gotta perform your songs to get discovered.
Bailey adds lyrics to Doc's tune.
Were you ever taught a song that felt so right but life destroyed it? Built of sand, a fairy tale in my hand, the shape of a dream and castles. Bailey closes her eyes and her imagination fills the room. She imagines Doc knows the words. Glassy eyes when the tide rushes in with the night. I am surrounded by a defining body that knows the shape of home. But if home's so well defined, why can't I feel it? Bailey's imagination lifts to reveal reality again.
What does that mean for you?
I spend most of my time interfacing with people I've only met online. Work, social media, nearly everyone's intangible. It's intangible, this land I try to hold. When I thought this land was made for you and me, it's fluid like the sea.
That's catchy and relatable. This could be your hit, girl. When I thought this solid land was made for me, it's fluid like the sea. Bailey's touched by Doc singing her lyrics. In real life, not imagined this time. Both of them energized by their connection. Bailey wears her Apple Vision Pro headset and works on the robotic pizza delivery animation through the headset from her couch. She's in sweats, her hair in a silk wrap. The animated pizza sets her taste buds tingling. Still wearing the headset, she rises from her couch to her kitchen and arranges bowls and pots as if to set for cooking. Through the Vision Pro, her animated pizza delivery creature waves at her from the living room. She looks down to see an envelope under one of the dishes she set. She opens the envelope, then sighs and uses a magnet to hang the letter on the refrigerator. It's the letter informing her to renew her lease. Her phone vibrates on the kitchen counter. She grabs her phone to see a text from Doc. Lunch? Bailey's eyes light up with excitement. She removes her Apple Vision Pro. Bikers, joggers, and pedestrians pass by along a riverwalk, as Bailey, dressed to impress in jeans and a natural look, walks side by side next to Doc, a stunning cowboy. Bailey eats lunch as they walk, and Doc carries 2 fishing rods and a bucket. Bailey: "Aren't you from Philly? I read in that article about the artist community that you were..." "That's a loaded question where I'm from." Doc takes a look at the ships on the river. "I never really lived in Philadelphia for more than a year at a time. I was born here, but my parents being in the Navy, we moved around a lot. Never really felt like I belonged anywhere. That was good for a music career, though, and touring."
So why are you in Philly now?
Touring gets old. Not having a place to call home gets old.
I want to get out of here, see the country.
Why don't you?
Single woman, traveling alone. I don't know. Seems risky, but I could easily do it. I work remotely, you know. Doc picks a spot along the river to set his fishing rods and equipment.
Doc stands in a private spot as he listens through his phone. Moss, through phone. "Get inspired. If we can't stay, bring some talent home to LA." Doc takes a picture of a tagged plant, then posts to Instagram. He mentions it Pleasance. Doc, to phone. "I'm inspired. I've got my eye on an artist right now who I want to work with. She's a songwriter and she's what you'd call authentically country." Moss, through phone. "Where's she from?" Doc, to phone. "Doesn't matter. She's here. A little bougie, but..." Moss, through phone. "You found a country singer in Philadelphia?" Doc, to phone. "Her family has ties to those Philadelphia stables. They own the bar I was singing at." Moss, through phone. "If she can write a hit for you and get you a country audience, then that's all I want." Doc, to phone. "Deal." Moss: "If it doesn't work out and Worm World wins the space..." Doc: "I'm gonna make this happen." Doc, content and optimistic, hangs up. He takes another look at the Instagram picture he took, the blueberries in the background. He also spots a worm. He examines the spot where he took the picture closer. The worm shimmies away. He breaks some blueberries from competing vines, pops them in his mouth. Doc watches as Bailey untangles the fishing line. He gives her a hand untangling. Then he adds worm bait, casts a line in the river. Doc here. Bailey takes the line. Bailey:
How'd you get into country music?
"It was the sound I grew up on. We lived in Corpus Christi when I was young. Feels like home."
Same. I mean, it feels like home. The sound and the way it tells a story. But I'm from here.
The flirtation between them grows, the attraction undeniable. She almost loses the grip of the line, but he catches it, and he catches her in a protective stance. Bailey recovers, coyly pulling away. Doc follows her lead.
People here don't expect to see Black Americana singers.
Well, not much different from anywhere else. The industry and marketing kind of painted us out of the picture.
I could write for you. Maybe go on the road with you. Doc hooks bait on another fishing line. I don't know. If I did what you do, I'd be afraid people would call me out as a fraud. Like the number of times I've been assumed to be in the wrong place or lost when I'm in white spaces.
Yeah, well, I sing R&B. Bailey takes a long look at Doc as he casts the line.
Yeah, I get that. That's why I've always tried to learn and anticipate how people around me see me so that I can mirror back to them what they believe. Otherwise, I'm suspicious.
Sing R&B.
Actually, that process has proven itself to be a lot harder to do after 3 years of working remotely. It's become harder to gauge how I'm seen. So, all I have left is to be myself, really.
I think you're the real thing.
Yeah, well, I think you're the real thing, too.
You don't have to be nervous about being yourself. They'll believe it when they feel it. And if they don't, fuck 'em. Doc guides her as she fishes. He pulls his compass from his pocket, gives it to Bailey. If all you have to do is be yourself to make them believe, that sounds a lot easier than the act we've been living. And the payoff is that we'll gain believers. New ground you can cover without fear of feeling suspicious or out of place. Your world expands, and so does theirs, about the compass. It's yours. Bailey holds the compass. She closes her eyes, and her imagination takes hold in a vibrant animation of the scene. A cute, grassroots animation in Philly mural art style captures Doc and Bailey fishing in Philadelphia and enjoying a sunny day to the sound of Americana. The animation transitions to... Still in the same animated style, we see a full house. High-energy chatter and a diverse crowd of ages, ethnicities, and styles fill the room. Denise and Jackson are there together on a date. Ruth, a 40-something-year-old black woman in a Doc Jones t-shirt, sits at the bar. Dorothy and a man, Andrew Pleasance, are there. Andrew, early 70s, is dressed just as high-class as Dorothy. He kisses Dorothy on the cheek. Bailey hides by the stage with her eyes closed. She takes a deep breath, and she opens her eyes to Nia as she manages and multitasks at the bar, and the animation fades into live action. Nia to Bailey. Exciting. Oh no, I know that face. Bailey takes a deep breath in while surveying the crowd. Nia, conted. If you don't want to go on, let Doc know now so he can...
No, it's okay. Bailey exhales, gazes into the audience, and closes her eyes again. Doc enters. Doc, you gonna join me? She watches Doc strut on stage. The crowd cheers. He gives her a subtle gesture to join him. Bailey takes another look out to the audience, then takes a deep breath, taps her pocket 3 times, and steps on stage. The audience cheers and she takes a seat on a stool, a bit shy but decisively present. Nia watches from the bar as she multitasks and speaks to Dorothy. Doc begins his first song, an energizing honky-tonk piece.
Sings Slow Reset, No Regret, I Want to Love You in Real Life. Bailey plays along, adding harmony. Sings Come over, kiss me before you miss me. Sugar, I'll be home tonight. As Bailey looks out into the crowd, she sees patrons vibing out to their sound. Sings I'm tired of taking pics and sharing angles through a screen, baby. Look me in the eye and love me, hold me tenderly, baby. I'll be taking off across the country in a bit. So love me IRL, baby, now let's shut it down. Bailey's smile, contagious. Animation overlays the crowd as they dance. Sings Love me IRL, baby, come on, shut it down. When the song ends, the crowd cheers and the filtered animation overlaying the audience and their reactions erupt with the same energy, then fade out, back to purely live action.